Welcome back in the world of videos and the program imene yasane side up. Nde china chimene mwene kufunika kudziwa ina chinyamala ndonena kuna kuti utumiki wawo wa prophet uma kumana la mulungu kumaso la chiwiri na lilose masana kuyambira nthawi ya wani koloko kupitira masana kundeni mukozotenga nawo mbali kwamene mungona kuti mungafune kuti mungumane nawo kuti iyayi muone kuti moyo wanu wapita patsogolo motani. Nde kupitiriza ndi program yathu ndi mafotokoza kuna kuti msabata ino makamaka tikuwunikiraso za makamaka nkhani ya zachuma mmene ikuyendera komanso kuti iyayi anduna azachuma apanga present budget mu parliament ndipo zinthu zambiri zakambidwamo mmenemu ndipo zinthu zambiri zikuchitika. Ndipo nkhani yofanana nako ndi mmene ndionena kuti iyayi mmodzi mwa achinyamataso wolemba buku limene likufotokoza za nkhaniso zokhudzana ndi zachuma. Nde timve kwambiri kuti iye anafotokoza kuti buku mmene muli zotani komanso ife monga ngati achinyamata tingapindulemo chani komanso buku limene tikhoza kulipeza kuti.
The thing about this book, it took me almost 3 or 4 years to write about it. It happens when I was in college. I was just inspired by Bingo's work. I did development economics at Rwanda. So the thing about that book, there was like, what the concept of what Bingo was trying to do is like learning the economy without a deficit, like with no deficit. So I was inspired by this idea. So I started reading about this book, the African Dream. It's one of my favorite books. Even if I look at my first student at Rwanda, when they see me, they say, African Dream guy, because I was calling the book. So the thing about the book was like, what Bingo was trying to achieve, say we can create an economy where there is no deficit. So I was fascinated by the idea. Then I said I would like the project. Yeah. So after I read the project, the first attempt was tough. The second, then I did it the second time. Yeah. So the thing about it is like I'm trying to connect with the modern monetary policy theories. Yeah, which is a new concept. Maybe the founders like Stephen Keaton, Landroy from Americans. So it's all about like between taxing and spending, which starts first. Yeah. So the long time ideas, people are saying we should tax. Then after taxing, we should spend. You get the point? Yeah. If we spend, okay. If we tax, let's say 100, okay. The idea is like spending and taxing, which starts first. You get the idea? Yeah. So let's say if we spend, government spend 100 wash and then tax 90 wash. The remaining 10 wash we call it a surplus. Okay? But if the government spend 100 wash and then you tax 110 wash, the remaining 10 wash is a deficit. So the idea was a deficit budget. So about like I'm trying to connect Bingo's ideas where we can learn a country with zero deficit, and the modern monetary theory where you can spend first and then taxing. What is about spending first? Spending first is about like a government can print money to fund the deficit. So all these ideas and the book, I cannot just explain. It's more technical. Yeah. So I think if I have more time, I can explain it, but it's limited. I think the economy is the world economy is at a crisis. Inflation has hit us hardly. So the thing about like the way the inflation has hit us this recently, I think we're spending much on consumption instead of production. Even if we are getting money from the donors, instead of spending to produce like njinga, we're buying njinga like a baze instead of using it to make njinga. So my point in this book, I'm trying to say, like the government can use money for production, not for consumption. We should produce, because there is this theory called quantity theory of money, where Q2 equals to PY, where it's more of the economics, but it says like the money and its velocity is directly related to GDP and its price. So if we spend money on increasing GDP, there is no inflation. Spending money to produce something, inflation automatically goes down because GDP and inflation are inversely related. So this is more technical part. So it is relevant into like for now because as you know the government also need to use our money wisely. Yeah. So I think they should do more spend much on production, not consumption. Because of course I'm defending we can finance deficit by printing money, but when we find by printing money doesn't mean we should printing money for consumption like what happens in 2001 when Magiri printed a lot of money. I hate so, but he printed a lot of money, and there's also people had money but no food. So it's like they were given money to buy like a bread, not to produce bread. So I'm trying, we can print money to employ people to produce something like a bread, not to eat bread. If I give you money to buy a bread, that's a inflation. But if I give money to produce a bread, that's not inflation. Yeah. So in that book, there are certain equations I've used to come up with something like why we don't need much donors. Of course, it's a very it's a careful topic. I'm also even careful with it. We need donors, but there is other ways of needing them. So those contexts are inside the books. I think the books talks about mindsets. So I think the youth, maybe the older people also, but first I'm targeting the youth. Okay. Yeah, the youth, the academician, the policy makers. Yeah, maybe the policy makers are the ones they target, because we need also to revolutionize new ideas, because the most of the economic system we have adopted is of John Keynes. You talk about monetary policy, fiscal policy, but we should move out from that. We should maybe adopt something like modern monetary theories, MMT. Yeah, I think if we can create something new that kind of with our own Bingus ideas, because we should have our own thing of thinking. We should not adopt everything. That's what. So I think we should. Well, I'm looking at the policy makers and also my fellow youth who thinks that this country can do better. Yeah, so I'm targeting any person. I think most of people agree with me. When I was writing this book, everybody tells me, when I was starting the journey, of course, when I was defending my thesis, SARS was a deficit budget, everybody says, you can't do this. Bingo's just crazy. The zero deficit can't work, you know. But I just dedicated myself, let me try. So there's certain zeals in everybody, like, wants to do something. Yeah, I can't say it is success, but I'm just trying to say, I've done my best to write this book. Yeah, I think a lot of people are trying their best to write their things. So I think they can also do extraordinary than mine. The book was published by Skillsway. It's a viable film, very strong one. The founder is Doange Mandela Msiska. Some of you heard about him. So it will be available on different platforms like Bookmite. It's a films website, bookmite.com, Amazon also, and the hard copy is also at at Skillsway. So if you want it, it will be more available on one match. So if you want it, there are numbers I'll put inside. So you call him, then on one will deliver to you. So once you order it, we'll bring it to you. And I think if it all goes well, it will also be available on all bookshops in Malawi. Those who are interested to purchase, or you can call that number, and then he will answer you how you can do it.
Alright, we are sort of zamaliza program imene yasani side up pompa pa TImveni television. Ndieno buku limene akuti the science of zero deficit budget. Ndieno kwashinyamaka amene kufuna kuti tiwerenge buku limene kuti tozindikiraso kuti tizindikire makamagadziko athu amene kuyendera komanso kuti mwina zina zimene zikuzochitika zikuzothandizira buku lake limenelo, and it's encouraging kuna chinyamaka tidziwe kuzindikira kuti kodi nkhani yazachuma imayenda bwanji komanso zinthu zinazi kuti tizita kuzimvisisa somangozimva iyayi kumazimvisisa bwinobwino. And anyways, we commend that kind of initiative because, well, it's a very good initiative.